Umbasa.
In 2009, From Software released a dark fantasy action RPG known as Demon Souls, featuring a mysterious world and punishing gameplay which became a cult hit, resulting in the birth of the much-beloved Souls series. Fast forward to 2020, when Sony announced that Bluepoint Games would be remaking Demon Souls for the PlayStation 5. Despite Demon Souls being the most obscure and least commonly played entry in the series, what is it about Demon Souls that has made the remake one of the most anticipated releases for the PS5? Today, I look back at the entry that started it all and ask the question, what makes Demon Souls so special? Hey everyone, UmbasaMufasa here, and today I'm going to be talking about Demon Souls. Now, the PS5 remake has created a ton of buzz within the Souls community, and I cannot wait until I can return to the Nexus, traverse through the fog, and enter the dark, dangerous world of Boletaria once again in all of its next-gen ray-traced glory. But in the meantime, I would like to discuss From Software's original Demon Souls, a game that is easily the most misunderstood, underrated, and underappreciated game in the entire Souls series. Fans of the game probably already know what I'm talking about, and for the rest of you who are wondering why everyone is making such a fuss over an old clunky PS3 game, then sit back and relax as I take you through the history of a game that kickstarted the career of legendary director Hidetaka Miyazaki, a game that gave birth to the Souls-like genre, and a game that even today possesses many qualities which make it well worth revisiting for new players and Souls veterans alike. Join me as we take a look back at Demon Souls. The story of Demon Souls is the story of Hidetaka Miyazaki, visionary director, fantasy nerd, and father of the Soulsborne series. His rise to prominence began with his work on a game that was already considered a failure within From Software, a company he joined at the age of 29 after leaving his job as an account manager for the Oracle Corporation. Despite having no previous experience in game design, his passion and enthusiasm would eventually lead to the creation of one of the most influential titles in gaming history. After working on a few Armored Core titles, he caught wind of a fantasy action RPG, likely inspired by From Software's own King's Field series, which was struggling to produce a strong prototype. He had always been an avid fan of fantasy works like the sorcery novels Berserk and classic RPGs like Wizardry, and he saw this failing game as the perfect opportunity to craft his own dark fantasy experience. As he put it, "If I could find a way to take control of the game, I could turn it into anything I wanted. Best of all, if my ideas failed, nobody would care. It was already a failure." Miyazaki would take over as director and begin to shape this failed game into a masterpiece by tapping into a sense of mystery, challenge, and adventure. Let's take a look at the core design philosophy of Demon Souls. The team at From Software would refer to their design philosophy as a return to the source. A back-to-basics approach that focused on gameplay rather than graphics, imagination over narrative, and rewarded players through exploration and experimentation. This focus on player immersion and experience would result in a unique game that was unlike anything else being developed at the time. With nothing to lose, the development team focused on making a game they wanted to play rather than a game that was easy to sell. You start the game by creating a character and selecting a class. Being dubbed the Slayer of Demons, you are tasked with exploring a dark and dangerous world while attempting to rid it of the demons that threaten its inhabitants while collecting the powerful Demon Souls. Combat happens in real time and carries a sense of weight and realism. Each action you take, whether attacking, blocking, dodging, or sprinting, will deplete your stamina until you run out, at which point you can no longer take any actions while it recharges. Each action must be carefully planned and considered, making every encounter feel deadly, and every environment feel threatening and mysterious. After 3 years of development, the failed fantasy RPG had been reborn into something no one could have predicted, and created the template that all subsequent Souls games would follow. A template that uses death to create an unparalleled sense of risk versus reward. Since the earliest days of gaming, death has been the de facto failure state. Generally speaking, if you die, you lose. But Miyazaki and his team wanted to breathe new life into death with their death-based game design. In Demon Souls, death is the beginning. Literally, you either die in the tutorial, or if you manage to defeat the Vanguard, the Dragon God punches you into oblivion, teaching you that in this game, death is unavoidable. But Miyazaki wanted to use those deaths as a teaching tool and incorporated many design elements to provide players with motivation even in death. When you die, you will lose all of your souls, a single currency used as money and experience to purchase weapons, upgrade them, or level up your character. Thankfully, they are stored in a bloodstain left at the location of your death that if you can reach before dying again, are recovered, essentially losing nothing, rewarding you for learning from your mistakes. Encounters are designed as tactical situations which must be overcome through observation and experimentation. When you die, enemies will respawn in the exact same place, offering players the opportunity to adjust their tactics as their knowledge increases. This single addition creates a gameplay loop that rewards players who are quick to learn from their mistakes while punishing those who are foolish, stubborn, or impatient. You have the ability to save or lose hours of progress based on your actions. In that way, a sense of growth and balance is maintained. It's tough, but fair. Death is an ever-present force in the world of Boletaria, and it even leaves its mark on the dark and captivatingly unconventional storytelling of Demon Souls. As a youth, Miyazaki was an avid reader and would read many books that were a bit beyond his comprehension level. As such, he found himself using his imagination to fill in the blanks with the help of the illustrations. He wanted to integrate this idea of narrative through subtraction into Demon Souls, providing players with just enough information to stimulate their imagination and draw their own conclusions. Beyond the introduction cinematic and a single mandatory lore dump at the start of the game, the majority of the story is left for players to uncover through NPC dialogue, item descriptions, and environmental details. Each playthrough offers the opportunity to discover hidden secrets about the world. Perhaps you will cross paths with a mysterious stranger, or stumble upon an ancient tomb, or even uncover rare treasures from a time long forgotten. While on the surface, the narrative focuses on King Allant, the ruler of Boletaria who uncovered the forbidden soul arts and awakened the old one, the true story of Demon Souls is that of a bleak world where all hope is lost, and along your journey you will come face to face with the darkest aspects of humanity. Adding to the bleak and depressing tone of the story are some of the most impressive and atmospheric examples of level design in the entire Souls series. Demon Souls contains 5 levels, which are accessible from the Nexus via the Archstones that can be explored in any order after defeating the first boss, and each one is dripping with more personality than the next. We have Boletarian Palace, a dark castle fortress which pits you against soldiers, knights, and fire-breathing dragons. Stonefang Tunnel, a series of mines that were dug too deep, unearthing an ancient evil. The Tower of Latria, where prisoners are sacrificed and transformed into twisted, inhuman abominations. The Shrine of Storms, where pagan myths of Shadow Men and the Storm King have become reality. And the Valley of Defilement, home to the lost and forgotten who offer souls to their beloved maiden, protected by her dutiful knight. Miyazaki wanted to create maps that felt unique as well as offered a sense of danger and mystery. I tried to design the maps in a way that suspicious things could be understood by observation. Why am I being given firebombs and flame buffs? Maybe the boss is going to be weak to fire. Why are there charred corpses at the start of this bridge? Maybe I'm about to get roasted by a dragon. These types of design decisions make their way into each and every level of the game, further adding to their quality and longevity. The environments of Demon Souls are overflowing with character and personality, and each is capped off by some of the most iconic bosses in the entire Souls series. The bosses in Demon Souls are the final test of your observational and problem-solving skills. Each boss also presents the player with a unique challenge, and no two are alike. Miyazaki wanted each boss to have a concept that could be described simply. The Man-Eater, for instance, can be summed up by saying, "There's another enemy." They are essentially epic combat puzzles, with most bosses having a core weakness that can be learned and exploited through trial and error and careful observation. The Phalanx, for example, has an impenetrable wall of shields protecting it, but is weak to the fire weapons you may have acquired throughout the level. The Fool's Idol isn't all that difficult, but will continue to revive indefinitely until you locate and eliminate a specific NPC. And a few of them, like the Flame Lurker and Penetrator, are straight up tests of your combat abilities. At certain times, the scope and scale of these bosses can fill you with a genuine sense of wonder and awe. While Demon Souls may not have the most difficult bosses in the series, they certainly leave the longest lasting impression. I consider the variety, challenge, and memorability of the bosses in Demon Souls to be one of the game's greatest strengths. And if you ever find yourself needing a little bit of help with one of these bosses, we can turn to another one of Miyazaki's innovative systems. Let's take a look at the unique multiplayer mechanics of Demon Souls. Miyazaki's inspiration for the revolutionary multiplayer system came from a real-life experience, in which complete strangers helped each other push their cars up an icy hill during a heavy snowfall by lining them up bumper to bumper, pushing them over the crest one at a time. Afterwards, he imagined who this mysterious stranger was that had helped him, and if they met in real life, would they become friends or enemies? This inspired the invasion and summoning system, which allows complete strangers to enter into each other's game worlds as either adversary or ally. The main motivator for engaging in online play are the soul and body form mechanics. In soul form, your HP is halved, but you can defeat a boss, use a Stone of Ephemeral Eyes, or engage in the multiplayer to regain your body, restoring your HP. The Blue Eye Stone can be used to assist players in completing a level or defeating a boss. The Black Eye Stone can be used to invade another player's world in an attempt to kill them, and the Red Eye Stone allows for a mutually agreed upon PvP style of invasion. Successful completion of any one of these forms of multiplayer results in your body being restored. In body form, you have full HP and can summon others for help, but you are also opening yourself up to being invaded by hostile players. There is also a rudimentary message system which allows players to leave hints about ambushes, treasures, or traps, or trick players with misinformation. Messages and players can both be rated based on their usefulness or performance. In a game filled with so much death, Miyazaki thought that players would enjoy this type of cooperation, stating, "We're all dead, so let's help each other out. And whether you play online or offline, your actions have a tendency to affect the very world around you." World Tendency is likely the most infamous system in all of Demon Souls. It is used to unlock secret areas, open up NPC quest lines, and acquire rare items. Specific events are only available if a certain tendency is reached in a given world. Each individual level starts at a neutral tendency and can be shifted towards either pure white or pure black based upon your actions in the game. Doing good things like killing bosses, killing invaders, or helping a host defeat a boss will move a world towards white, while doing bad things like killing NPCs, dying in body form, and killing a host as an invader will push the world towards black. In pure white world tendency, enemies are weaker, have an increased drop rate for healing items, but a lower drop rate for upgrade materials. In pure black world tendency, enemies are stronger, more numerous, drop rare items more frequently, and drop more souls. A subsystem to world tendency is character tendency, which can also shift from pure white to pure black based on similar factors mentioned earlier. It generally affects how much damage you deal and how much HP you have when in soul form. It also unlocks a unique item when pure white, and one of the most interesting NPC side quests in the game when pure black. These systems are a really interesting way to increase replayability, access optional content, and adjust the difficulty, but they are not at all clearly explained to the player, meaning you can accidentally make the game harder for yourself without even realizing it. This makes them some of the most fascinating and batshit crazy systems in all of gaming. And they never made it into another Souls game, but they are part of the unique experience that makes Demon Souls unlike any other game in the series. But how would Sony executives and general audiences react to a game that was filled with death, challenge, mystery, and unique systems that were unlike anything else they had ever experienced? Because Miyazaki and his team followed a design philosophy that was the antithesis of conventional developmental trends, executives at Sony had a hard time understanding the game, let alone how to market and sell it. Shuhei Yoshida, Sony's head of product development, described Demon Souls as an unbelievably bad game. These impressions were followed by a disastrous public debut at the Tokyo Game Show in 2008. Demon Souls was not the type of game that could be understood after just 10 minutes at a demo station. Some players didn't even make it past the character creation screen. This led to Sony deciding against any international distribution for the title, viewing it as a lost cause. The PS3 exclusive was released in Japan on February 5, 2009 with little marketing behind it. Predictably, it sold below expectations, moving roughly 30,000 units in its first week. The future looked bleak for Miyazaki's passion project. But all was not lost. As players spent more time with the game learning and understanding its systems, word of mouth began to spread about this punishing yet satisfying experience that was clearly much more than your run-of-the-mill fantasy RPG. Fans started to realize that there was something special about this bizarre and challenging game that was completely unlike anything else on the market, and the world was about to take notice. Sales figures were holding steady in the weeks following release, with some retailers even reporting that the game was selling out. Fans in the West began importing copies from Asia, which already had complete English language voice acting. The Chinese and Korean versions even featured English language menus and text. Positive reviews started flooding the internet, prompting Atlus and Bandai Namco to step in where Sony themselves had dropped the ball on international distribution. Atlus would distribute the game to North America, and while showing the game at E3 2009 was asking fans to
stop importing it.
And while Bandai Namco wouldn't release the game in Europe until 2010, the game still sold over 750,000 copies in its first year. Their sales target had been destroyed. Miyazaki and his team could breathe a sigh of relief. Demon's Souls would go on to earn GameSpot's Game of the Year award along with Best RPG and Best PS3 Game for 2009. The unbelievably bad game had become an undeniable success. Demon's Souls proved that a unique concept, when well executed, could captivate fans from around the world, while also cementing a legacy for itself and its creator as one of gaming's greatest achievements. Like I said in the intro, Demon's Souls is the first game in the Soulsborne series, which includes Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and the yet-to-be-released Elden Ring. Miyazaki himself has since gone on to become president of From Software and receive a Lifetime Achievement Award for his contributions to the gaming industry. His work has inspired an entire genre of Souls-like games like Lords of the Fallen, Nioh, and Mortal Shell, and the acclaim that Miyazaki's work has garnered in recent years has even led to Sony admitting that the decision not to distribute Demon's Souls was a mistake, stating that it should have been a first-party title. And now, in 2020, it is a first-party title with the Bluepoint remake on PS5. It's quite telling that the game Shuhei Yoshida first described as unbelievably bad is now considered
very near and dear to me.
One thing worth noting is that Hidetaka Miyazaki and From Software have nothing to do with the remaster, as Sony retains exclusive rights to the Demon's Souls IP. So if you're interested in Demon's Souls, I highly recommend playing the original, even if you're going to play the remake on PS5. While I'm excited for it, I think that in 2020, the original Demon's Souls is even more relevant than it has ever been. For a long time, the game was hidden away on the PS3 until recently the emulation community was able to bring Demon's Souls to the PC with higher fidelity and frame rates. The game has never looked or played better. The community has even created a private server which enables all online features like invading and summoning, which hasn't been possible since February 2018 when the original servers were taken offline. There's literally never been a better time to jump in and try the original Demon's Souls for yourself, and I would highly recommend that you do. Just be sure you own a copy of the original game if you decide to go the emulation route. All in all, the legacy of Demon's Souls is one that changed gaming forever and turned Hidetaka Miyazaki into a household name. And now I'd like to go over my final thoughts regarding From Software and Miyazaki's original masterpiece, Demon's Souls. What makes Demon's Souls special to me is how weird it is, and there's just so much weird shit in this game that I cannot help but love it. There's an NPC that will kill all of your merchants and completely break your game. When online, you can be summoned to fight as the old monk boss character against other players. This attack from the final boss will de-level your character. The game is punk rock. It was the antithesis of what games were supposed to be, and its very existence is a miracle, let alone the fact that its legacy has changed gaming forever. It is the most pure experience of a Souls game. It is unfiltered and it is unapologetic. I mean, sure, other Souls games have castle levels, but Demon's Souls has the best castle level. Sure, other Souls games have skeleton levels, but Demon's Souls has the best skeleton level. Even while playing for this video, I was still discovering content that I had never seen before. The unique design decisions, the atmosphere, the feeling of the world and the narrative, just give it something that's still just as mysterious today as it was in 2009. And in conclusion, the failed project that was a return to the source, which utilized death-based game design and a fractured narrative, combined unparalleled atmosphere and unforgettable bosses with a revolutionary multiplayer component and iconic world systems that would go from a misunderstood masterpiece to an international sensation, leaving behind a legendary legacy as one of the most important games of all time. And if you want to experience a pure, undiluted vision of Souls, you owe it to yourself to return to the source of Hidetaka Miyazaki's original masterpiece, From Software's Demon's Souls. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider leaving a like, share, subscribe, comment down below, all that good stuff. I do truly appreciate it. Also, shout out to LeeroyFlankins, who helped me collect a lot of the footage of the World Tendency events. Thank you so much again for your support. If you want to watch more of my videos, it'll be here. Elegant Weapons got a video here. Otherwise, follow me on Twitch, subscribe to me on YouTube. Thank you again. Be sure you be kind, be safe, be yourself. And as always, signing off, Umbasa.